are here ready to support us in our synergistic experience and what we're bringing to the world right now. Ooh. We are going to be enlightening people surrounding the dragons, surrounding light language and what it offers to us in our lives, the powers that are deep within us, and how we can work together to become a free, wow, okay, that's interesting phrasing, a free, bright nation. All right. This is what's happening today. Okay. Do you have anything else to add to that, Seth?
I saw exactly what you were when you were saying that. I saw everything. It's beautiful. I saw a lot of dragons, which is very. Haven't had as many dragons as you would think this week, but that's why they say a bright nation, because they are all one, but also they embody the fire element along with many others, and they are very bright with all their energy that they give off.
Ooh, nice. Okay, well, let's get going.
Intergalactic beings of multi-dimensional realities. Welcome to channeling.
Seth Clark, welcome to channeling. We are going to be doing some amazing things today, playing with dragons, feeling into the power of the depths of what we are. So let's jump in. But first, I want to introduce you a little bit to people and how you came into what you were doing. And what I understand is that you were really introduced to language, light language, and really initiating people into light languages through her. And at first, you were a little bit of a doubter. She was going through this process and said, "You're going to be channeling. You're going to be doing this." And you were a little bit of a doubter, but then in 2020, everything just kind of blew open for you. And you started going down the road of being daring and just opening more and more and helping more and more people do this. So tell me a little bit about that for you, simply like what that journey was quickly before we jump in and we start playing with these amazing dragons that are here present with us.
So yeah, it took a while for me to get the courage to be activated, but I knew from a pretty young age that I was powerful empathically, because I would pick up off of a lot of the people around me. At that time, I didn't know. I thought it was all my energy, so I would spew it out in many different ways. But I got told by my mother I was going to be going into this journey. And first, of course, you don't believe that when you hear it. I didn't believe it. And then just the more and more I was around it, the more and more I listened, I noticed how impactful it will be. And I still remember the day I got activated. My mom just looked me in the eye and she said, "They're telling me you're ready." And I felt I don't know how to explain it. I felt like something clicked and I just allowed it to happen. And that's why I get a lot of people that ask me, "Am I ready for to get activated? Should I do this? This life experience is what we create it to be." And I tell people I pushed back on this when I was first starting so much, but it ended up just aligning, and I was activated with my Tibetan dragon. That's my soul language, to be specific. But yeah, it was.
That's exciting, and I'm Tibetan dragons. That's so cool. I mean, I feel connected to a lot of the Eastern traditions and stuff like that. And so
Yes.
I'm just so excited to hear the voice
Yeah.
of that from you. And it feels like it's almost like he's got a story or a journey to take us on right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoo, okay, let's
Yeah.
just jump on in. I'm going to take a drink of my water and I want to hear from him, if that's okay with you, and
Yeah.
see where we go.
Alrighty. Sinitu. Ooh, he just wants to come through. Sandi isi uya dianai. Boda nai alia tu. Sundi apoe ka inyati. La di alia su. Sandi su. Honde anya paele. Kandia puya niati. Sialia tu suuk alia paini. Dina etu. Sondo iti ati. Papa oene ati ati. Sandi dik ia po. Sudu isi aniati. Pando. Di apo ke aiati. Andi alidi. Sondo o suali. Pombo ainiati. Di iki iadi u. Sundi i. Di apo aliati. Di ali na o suuyo di apo. Ka di ata. Sa di usu uyo di aniti. Di abo nadi.
Ooh,
Sondo.
okay, that was so beautiful. I kind of entered in to like this space, and I was visually seeing it into kind of the space of the clouds, and I don't know, it was really, really interesting. Is there a kind of translation that you would say, or is
Oh
that
yeah, I can.
for me?
I can. The clouds is a lot of Tibetan dragons. They were born in around a lot of temples, and around that time, there are a lot of mostly the temples are on top of mountains, so you would see no, you wouldn't see many views. You would see clouds. Clouds are very much a part of his memorance, I would
Yeah,
call it, and
like a landscape of clouds. It was
yeah,
really
yeah,
beautiful. Yeah.
yeah. That's the first thing I saw when I brought him forth when I first got activated. Was I saw clouds. I thought very confused, but it was him showing his surrounding. And at this temple where he is very much learned and gone through everything to help people and be the force that he is to empower others and empower other dragons along with very much myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like I'm being shown this. It translates as an altar, but it's like a center where it's like a light or a fire or whatever at the center. It's not like
Yeah.
it's against a wall or anything. It's like there's it's a circular
Yeah.
kind of space where it's like I can feel the presence of different dragons meeting, and it's like
Oh,
this sacred space, if that makes any sense.
that's the Dragon Council.
Hmm.
I was told when I got activated as well. I forgot to mention this. Funny how it's being brought up. Perfect. I myself, I'm part of the Dragon Council. The council, what you were telling is that space. They always show it to me almost like a circular table,
Mm-hmm.
and with the light source in the middle, kind of the soul energy. Whatever you grasp in the middle, they always show it different at different times. But
Mm-hmm.
the Dragon Council is where the connection kind of started with all of dragons. It's why Tibetan dragons are very older, but not how we would particularly view as old. They're more wise, ancient. They live for generations upon generations of years, and they've developed all of these different just knowledge through each depiction of dragon, if that makes any sense. Like
Hmm.
around the world, there's always a depiction of a dragon, even though how would a dragon be in the Eastern, but also in Europe and in the US? How is it everywhere? They met in a dragon council, and they are one through their heart space. They're very telepathic in their communication through their heart.
Oh, that's so cool. I'm feeling it. I mean,
Yeah.
the first time I jumped onto how I found Ceth was I was on Facebook, and my friend actually told me I jumped into this light language thing, and it's a little overwhelming. I'm not sure what to do with it, but and I'm like, really? And I'm like, I am going now. So I jumped on in, and there was you and your mother, and
Yeah.
when you were live, I jumped on and I was so excited. I interrupted one of your readings. I'm like, do dragons have 3 like hearts or 3 sections of your heart? And you're like, yes, in fact, they do.
I
But
remember that.
yeah, as you can tell, I'm really feel really connected. In fact, right now, as I'm sitting with this idea of the council, like the light, there's like the light in the center is blue now. It's just
Yes.
really, really cool. And I'm like, this is just fabulous. And I see when you were talking about the depiction of the different kinds of dragons,
Yeah.
this is what comes to my mind, because my guides jumped in after I was exposed to this, and they were talking about light language. And it seems to me it's almost as if each unique kind of dragon offers a unique almost information. It's a unique intelligence. And like we all each one has just a slightly varied, nuanced connection into like the etheric realm and the essence, and how we can interpret and how we can see things, if that makes any sense.
That's perfect.
Cool. I'm here. This is how I see it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, go ahead. I feel like you've got some more to share about this about you and your dragon. And
Yeah. Well, I wanted to add that the way I found all of this information is I asked. And before, when I got activated, I literally thought I would only channel dragons because there were so many that came in. But it was because of this connection to the Dragon Council. And I got reassurance from my mother, because I asked her. I call her my cheat code, because whenever I ask her something, she has the answer for it. I'm lucky in that aspect. But I asked her, and she said, yes, you're a part of this Dragon Council. I didn't have a name for it. I just knew I saw the place. I saw visions of all of them. They each have their own depiction from where they are, and they're not all from Earth. They're all from other star seeds, other origins, but they come together almost telepathically to this place. It's like a different realm. It's a different place, and they are one through that. And it really, that collective togetherness, I don't know what other word to say than that, really is what brought me into learning even more about dragons as a whole, because that connection I have to them was nothing I've ever experienced before. It really blew me away, and I just tried to enjoy the process for what they gave it to me, enjoy the information as it comes, and then happy to be at a place where I can share it with others.
That's so cool. Like when they were sharing that information, is it almost like a journey experience, or is that kind of how you experience it? It's not like you're sitting down at a desk and they're like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you know?
No. When I channel my soul language, when I try to more so just allow whatever needs to be expressed, is more of surrendering to it. And when he came through just then, he was talking about how the Draken Council and all of that, but I was going to explain that, and you brought it up, so you were very much in connection with what he was saying. And he was talking about how what exactly he is meant to do in helping others see their light. And the light in many different ways is a symbolism of the light at the end of the tunnel, the light, their light, many light. That's why you saw the sea of light in the beginning. It's because light is a depiction of them and what they focus and view things as. We all
Mm,
have the light of source energy within us.
yeah. No, I love this because this is exactly. I just a second ago I was like, oh gosh, boom! I connected something together because before I was open to channeling officially, quote unquote, I would enter into these journeys and I would be looking down kind of in a garden or whatever, but I'd be in this viewing spot and it was like this. First, it was like I was on top of a cliff. I was on a mountain and I was looking down, but then I came to a point where I realized there was a kind of also a cave in it, and in that cave there was the center orb, which I called the seed, and my channels, my guys called it the seed. And it was like, it was from this spot where, and you look at it and it's like the eye, and you're like, woohoo. um, Lord of the
That's
Rings,
awesome.
but not the Lord of the Rings because the interpretation is different.
Yeah.
Which is awesome because I have some quandaries about that movie, even though I love it.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So this experience of that and it being present and feeling other entities and beings and you can say aliens if you want or whatever,
Yeah. ETs,
magical creatures, I guess you can say, that were
definitely.
there. And so that I was exposed to that before I even officially started channeling, I guess you could
Yeah,
say. So
definitely. Yeah.
that's fun. So in my world, perhaps that's kind of the expression of that.
Indeed.
So
Definitely. There's I try to make sure I let people know that there's not one way to go about this, because a
yeah,
lot of people assume when they are channeling or bringing forth different guides, it has to sound exactly like this person. It has to
yeah.
be this way. No, we don't even sound this exactly the same when we are speaking in our real life. Why do this have to be exactly the same when we are channeling
Yeah.
dragons or whatever we are channeling? And it just really, the connection that we all possess within us is, I feel, is just starting to really like ignite. If that is starting to align with a lot of others, been getting a huge wave of star seeds, people that are wanting to be activated and are waking up to their
Mhm.
their own journeys. And I was told I am here to help people on their path. I didn't
Yeah.
know what to make of that when I first heard it, but I've really had a huge rush of people such as yourself, like, come to me and really be trusting in me and what I am doing.
Hmm.
And it is one of the biggest compliments in the world. I really enjoy speaking on what I've learned throughout my process and helping people along theirs.
Oh, that's that's really cool. There's,
Hmm.
how can I say, you're talking, you're saying this, you have this humility, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But I mean, when I entered into that Facebook group and I saw you, to me it was immediately evident that you had a certain signature,
Thank you.
like that you carried a certain signature and you have certain um this is how to see it, keys, I guess you could say, keys
Yeah.
or patterns or however you might say
Yeah.
that are powerful. They're powerful, they're present, they're right here, they're right here. So
Yeah.
that's something that I could not deny.
Well,
And I'm sure others who have come in, that's why they're instantly kind of like, okay, I'm here.
mhm.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Um, and so, it's one of those things, as I do what I do, sometimes it's hard because it's like, I don't want my ego. This isn't about our ego. This is about the
No.
work.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. And we
Indeed.
can just say, yay, I get to be here and be along for the ride.
Yeah.
you know?
Indeed. Yeah. I'm very against my ego. I think that's why you would say I'm humble. It's just how I was. I didn't have the greatest childhood stuff, but it's brought me to where I am. It's a part of me. And
Yeah.
I'm very humble in that aspect because I I've been part of this journey, I feel, just my whole life. And really when I got activated, it was very emotional, and now I'm starting to feel it
Mhm.
because I knew this is what I was meant to do. I was very lost before.
Yeah.
And you may have looked at me in the moment and be like, I don't know, how do you feel lost? Because I was doing a whole bunch of nothing felt like it had this kind of meaning
Yeah.
to myself, my soul, my higher self. And it means a lot that people view me because done I've kind of surrendered myself to this journey and allowed everything to happen, gone through the ups and downs, and I'm very proud that I can be somebody that people look to for guidance in any way in this field. It's very very emotional. Sitiku.
Oh, wow. I feel that. Yeah.
It means a lot.
That is, that's cool to feel. Oh, there's like a tenderness about that.
Yeah.
That's sweet. I'm getting excited. I'm like, there's parts of me like, okay, where do we go? Do I talk about light language? Do I ask you like
I'm
what light
free.
language means to you? Do I just tell the dragon, let's go on an adventure? You know, I think both of them are good, but I think people can look and say what was channeled through me, and I posted a while back ago, but let's talk a little bit about light language and what the
Okay.
benefit is for us, because people were like, well, so what if there's light language? So what? What's it all about?
Yeah. So before before I got into all of this, I didn't have the best view of light language. I thought it was very random. But I just being around it very much, it was aligned to me. Light language can have many different outlooks and things that it's used for. The biggest one is more so a part of connecting. I say it is very much a shortcut to connect in with your guides and beings of any other ETs, dragons, wherever you can connect in through light language. But the most powerful one that I feel is being used the most recently is it is a healing modality. It is a way to heal and clear energy, um, along with developing that connection with your clairs. And I always tell people that I've learned that intent is the biggest thing with light language. I can intend to have a transmission of love and light. I can intend to have transmissions and bring forth my guide like I did earlier and just let him be the channel through me. And it's all intent. It's what we intend it to be. A lot of people think, what if I connect in with any negative guides? What if these people, like, I
Mhm.
just never have them in my awareness? It's not a part of what we intend for this to be. So it's
Yeah.
never an option. Whenever I get a new guide, I know it's for a reason, and I get new
Mhm.
guides almost every day.
Yeah.
It's yeah, I've
I
been
know. I
channeling a
love
lot.
I love how you're talking about this, because I do see people using it kind of in this healing way,
Yeah.
but also that connection, because that's what my guides have been talking to me really about. It almost builds bridges for people
Yes.
to be able to see into new consciousness levels, and it actually helps us become more agile and
Yeah.
adaptable. And you know, if some people are like, all hell is breaking loose in the world or whatever. But if we really are becoming a new race, if we really
Yeah.
are transforming, then this agility is very important, and it can serve us,
Yeah.
because there's intelligence at every level that we connect to
Yes.
that will conserve us. So to me, I think that sounds very practically actually important. You know, if we're really opening in our multidimensional natures, if we're really wanting to be stepping into a new earth, if we're really wanting to be creating new systems, like this information and this way of connecting can be very powerful, seems to me.
Definitely. And like during my time before I was on a public platform, I still connected in with a lot of different people through this as well. And I feel that is also something that gets not taken for granted, but isn't as talked about. I activated and connected in with people that live directly on the other side of this planet. And I activated somebody that was living in London, somebody that lived in Australia, and then somebody lived here in California with me. It's all there's star seeds, people planted everywhere around the world that are waking up to this. And it is just that connection overall is, I feel, the biggest part, as you would say. It's really at the forefront right now. There's always a swing of energies also. I call it a swing, where there's certain guides that kind of have their moments where a lot of people are channeling them. Early, there was a lot of dragons are almost constant. That's what I would say. I've had a lot of elementals, which are kind of these spiritual beings. They are fairies, um, elves, all of them. I always laugh when when I bring forth them, because they resonate on the vibration of joy. They're always laughing, having a good time. They're gnomes. Gnomes laugh at you and with you, but they're so cheeky. They're hilarious.
Oh, I can feel that. Yeah, definitely. And I have a lot of guys that are very playful. And so you were telling me you've got a lot of little things around you. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, they are, but they've been very present recently. I've activated a lot of elven, which are elves. Most of them look similar to a Zelda from Nintendo, where she's an elf, but they look similar in that aspect. A lot of them are one with nature, and a lot of the grounding and being connected in with our earth is been very promoted even more recently by them. But I've been getting a lot of cheeky gnomes. They're hilarious.
That's great.
They're
oh my gosh, I'm gonna have a tough time stopping laughing. I'm like, I'm trying to be serious here.
Yeah.
No, I love it. I was just doing a kind of a transmission, an opening with a gentleman just yesterday, and he just burst out laughing. He's like, "This is so great!" You know, it's like, why don't we meet ourselves in this level of joy? Because it's so transformative. It opens us so well.
Yeah.
And to help us move and be fluid. But I was curious. This is my mind, where my mind goes, is like these elves, these elven or whatever, you know, for some reason I correlate them with certain kind of star galactic lineage, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
You know, and the first one that comes to mind, well, is Palladian, but of course also Andromedan. And I don't know if
Mhm.
like you, when you enter into these and connect with them, like if you can connect in with a star lineage or anything
Mhm.
else like that when you do that.
Yes and no. The first aspect is more of the vibration they resonate on. It's what
Mhm.
um they choose to be, or choose to be named as, or
Okay.
connect in with. A lot of times it's kind of in nature. I have many different dragons. I can feel when it's a dragon when they show up, because they all
Mhm.
feel energetically the same. I can feel their heart space. Elven, they feel the same. They're on that vibration of joy. And uh also with it, there's infinite connections I've found out.
Mm,
I have activated an Elven Lemurian
okay.
that
Yeah.
came through, and the ladies, they're all part of the same, uh what do we call that? Same um ecosystem, I would call it.
Okay.
They're all in the same area, but there's infinite connections with all of these guides. I find they're more common in certain areas. I've had a lot more Lemurian Elven, along with kind of earthly Elven, which are some are from Agartha, which is inner Earth, and
Mm,
I
okay.
but I've found there's infinite potential, infinite connections to all guides,
Yeah.
where they are Elven, but you can feel their connection to Pallades, Lemuria, wherever that connection is. It is more so a
Mm.
part of them. I have an Octurian dragon. That was the
Mhm.
second dragon I channeled. Uh, the second dialect, I thought it was I was like, why is my dialect sounding different? But it was a
Yeah.
different dragon. And then I have an Orion dragon. I have a lot of connections to Orion as well.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's where the Orion Wars happen. That's
Uh-huh.
what we channeled, got channeled into Star Wars, what we depict Star Wars as. That
Yeah.
was the Orion Wars.
Yeah.
And a lot of that time I have visions, like, frequently of that time. But
Yeah.
I have dragons from that time. There's
Mhm.
every single being. It's almost like Star Wars, where there's all these different beings. There's Chewbacca, he's a Bigfoot, he's a Yeti.
Mhm.
But I've channeled Yetis as well.
Wow.
They have all these different connections, and I found I was trying to focus on, like, so where are all these from? And I have guides that are from everywhere pretty much. And there's
Yeah.
some places they're from that we don't even know about yet, but
Yeah.
there'll you'll definitely have a guide from there.
Yeah. The amazing diversity of life. It's
Yeah.
it's like it's like it's like I feel like I'm going on this little trip with you, and I'm like, yeah, there's a lot, like,
Yeah.
and I have a pretty good imagination, and there's a lot of unique things that I come across
Yeah.
myself. And one of them is it, what opened in a channeling was a connection to like an elven kind of like looking people.
Mhm.
And I considered it maybe that was the Andromedans, but I'm not quite sure because I do have connection with the Andromedans. So
Yeah.
it's a little bit interesting there, but I wanted to spend some time because a journey is afoot. Okay. Um, uh, and they're what were they telling me? Okay, I'm ready now. What's going down? Okay, so they're asking me to take you or your dragon's hand, and they're gonna lead me into something, and I'm seeing the fire. I'm seeing the fire right now. And there's something for me that's always been a little hesitation with
Mhm.
vocalizing some of these light languages and these different things. And so there's something here waiting for me.
Mm.
And I am just going to sit here and I'm taking your hand, and we're going to be doing something. And people may not understand what's happening for a few minutes here, but we can explain later
Yeah.
if that's how it is. Okay. And if all of you are listening or watching, just take 3 deep breaths, and you can reach into what's happening here
Yeah.
and start opening your vision. And you can simply ask your guides or whoever you're with or your higher self to assist you in you seeing what is pertinent to you. That's what's important. What's pertinent to you? So here we go. I'm going to offer my hand forward, and my hand has been taken. Here we go.
Isi ai tu aniki popo yate. Sandi asi tu yati atak iapa. Undi asi aliado. Sondu usu uliati. Samba ba ia no iti. Sidik ia papa oya wahayati. Wawa ia na isi alitu. Tutedik iapa. Sondo su i. Tandi ati oto. Papa ani ati. Suk oleti aliti. Iada. Sondosu. Suti isi iti ali. Alidik iapo. Baba ani ati. No usu udi ali. Ando. Di alidik oali. Maba ani atai. Si itusu. Si ika e papo uyo tu. Sandi isi ia le tu uana ipa. Papo uya. Sandi ali tu su. Sidik ia maioe. Wawa ani isi abuo. Tuto ia nai. Patiko soto i. Fote nai.
Wow.
Soto te taito. Titik ia pa. Papo oewe. Sambu pa iono. Tandi tiana alioto. Sundi api aki. Tailia to sundu uti.
At the end, I'm left with seeing this image of these feathers and like a head that's on fire, like it's a flame. That was a journey. That was a journey.
Yes. What you were seeing was that is a phoenix.
Yeah.
And phoenix are normally interpreted by us as being a bird. A bird that can rise from its ashes. Phoenixes, I've learned, are part dragon. They align with the dragons. They are one. A lot of dragons are depicted as very scaly, just scales, very much a lizard almost in that form. But a lot of them had feathers, had fur, all in between they connect in with. And a phoenix, I felt, came through because this is a lot of people's rebirth in a way, and aligning even further into themselves, that connection. And it took us on a journey. And these are all the people that are going through rebirths right now. That's why there's a lot of the fires, a lot of the signs of light.
Wow. I'm like being pulled back. Wow. The visuals on that were so beautiful.
I always say, because during my readings or when I do stuff like this, I always say, I wish there was some kind of technology that can show people what you see.
Can translate it so visually, like they can see. Yeah.
I've seen vivid pictures of each place, and I just wish I can. It's like a picture. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words, and a video is worth 1,000 pictures, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. These vivid images can't really be duplicated in any way unless you connect in with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we channel, you guys.
That's part of the reason, definitely.
Yeah, it's part of the reason, but it's like, how can you speak about a whole new world with just words? You cannot. You just get to enter into it, right?
Yeah, it's also funny. In the beginning, I have a guide named Eric. He's my first ever guide I have. It's a big part of my group and everything, but he likes to joke around a lot of the times. He put Aladdin in there when we felt like we were flying, and he said a whole new world. He played that. He likes playing movies and music.
Yeah.
And since I'm very visual in what I see, and
Mhm.
I can hear a lot as well, he'll play clips of movies and that symbolize what is going on and kind of energetically align with the message similarly. He's very amazing. He was here on Earth, but he fortunately took his own life because he had more of a mission in guiding people, and he guides people to align. And a lot of times he brings people to me and my mom into the group, but he is very fourth dimensional. He can be, I can hear him and my mom can hear him at the same time. He is
Wow.
one with us. Yeah. But
Mhm.
he's a big part of how I gain this confidence and knowledge.
Mhm.
A big part of that. I wanted to, because he popped in. He never really pops in unless I allow him to, unless I'm doing this or reading for somebody, he'll pop in.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I'm still like, it almost kind of envision like, this visual you're talking about, all the fires, and suddenly I'm like, holy shit,
Yeah.
all the fires. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like throughout the whole, the landscape. And it's interesting too, because I'm still seeing it from a view above. And
Yeah. The dragons.
So it's really, really interesting. One of the visuals that came to me was that I was holding my hand out, and my hand literally lit on fire. Like it became the fire too. And it came into this image. There were so many images.
Yeah.
But one of them that I came into it was almost this expression of a dragon in a city.
Yeah.
It was like a dragon in a city, and it was like, oh, and it had a long neck, and it's like almost like a dinosaur, and essence, this feeling, and it's like it's being attacked, like it's being cut off, and like this whole transformation of it's almost like you have to, for me, I have to overcome this idea, this fear of being destroyed by the true expression, right?
Yes.
In order to then and have it washed clean, because then came all this, from the deep in the deep in the whatever. I say deep from the earth, but I don't know if that really is it. But it was just this molten water and this stuff that was coming through, and just and then that's when the phoenix was able to rise, right? I was surprised with what came out of it, because I'm expecting a quote unquote dragon of the traditional sense, and was coming up. I'm like, oh my God, you've got wings and you're like a bird,
Yeah.
And so it was really, really cool. I love that.
That is, yeah. The dragons go through their kind of shedding process in many different ways. They go through kind of how a lot of reptiles shed their skin, or they have to during times. They go through those processes of rebirth, as so do us. And they're really powerful in the aspects of empowering and helping people with their transitions in many different ways. Our transition can be in our 3D and spiritual life. And I always say they mirror each other, because I go through stuff in my regular 3D life, and at the same time I'm going through it in my spiritual life. They mirror each other.
Yeah.
At least that's how I interpret it, and it makes it easier for me to go through this. But during all of that, I feel they are very much showcasing how if you align and you allow yourself to be on this journey, you will see the ups and downs, but at the end of the day, you can have the renewal of energy in this rebirth that is going on.
Okay. We don't have to fight the rebirth
No.
because it's a renewal of our energy.
Yes.
And so a lot of people, okay, tip of the day, everyone. New way of looking at something, new outlook. Many of us, there's so much shifting and changing, and we'll feel ourselves resist. But it's like if we jump forward into it and feel it, that's where our renewal is.
Yeah,
that's where the new energy is.
Definitely.
I love
I remember when I receive energy, receive coding, or have to go through a release. Like today, it's a full moon, so I'm receiving a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel a lot of times when I know what it is, or I just allow it, take that step, it just really kind of settles down. I am kind of accepting of it, and it doesn't become much of an issue at all, because it is a part of me rather than something I'm fighting away, and just all encompassing. The dragons are very depicted not in the greatest light by us half the time. They're depicted in many different forms as almost what we would perceive as a monster, but they are very powerful in knowing that they are here to help, even though there may not be people that are enlightened right now and actually view them in that light. They're here to help bring forth a rebirth and renewal of people's energy, because we have to release the old to bring in the new. And sometimes that's daily, sometimes that's a huge rebirth like it is right now. I feel a lot of people are destined to be rebirthed into a newer form of themselves, not something completely different. It is a new form of yourself. It's a rebirth.
A new form of ourselves. And that means really, it can mean so much.
Yeah.
It's not just a new outlook. It's not just it's a new form of me.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. I get to be that one.
Yes.
The new form of Gwen right here, right now. And she gets to talk in a minute, but I am feeling the council again. And is there a message for us from the council?
I will bring forth it in light language, and then I will try to interpret it and translate exactly what they are saying for you guys.
Cool. And Seth, thank you so much. This has been so great. I love this.
No problem. I'm enjoying this. I felt the dragons this morning. They were very present. Whenever I have dragons around me, I get very hot and heat up because they have a lot of energy, but they're very clearing with, how dragons can breathe fire. They very much clear my energy and get me aligned with them, and I feel connected. The Asul, they want to come through very going to get into that. Sondo e alia paikuto. Sindi aliati si ili tu usuili ti apopo. Da ani ali tu. Sandiki papa oyawe eti. Samba alia di uto. Sondo ia papa ia pa iko. Honda ia ali si itu. Sondo ia pa. Sadidik ia di o. Ia di isia ia di isia oti ia isia itu sa sia ia di si ika ia di su swa ia di asi. Pai dia ia di sia ia tu sua. Ia sia pai dia nai tu su tu pai nia di tania tu o ko tu. Nailia tia hati usu rai tia redia tu ra par ia di nario tu sandia su koati papa uia tia dai naia lia du di si sandi ua paiki su de aidi dia usu di.
Ah.
That was many different versions of the dragon and dragons in the Dragon Council.
Yeah, I was gonna say I felt presence of a couple unique ones.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, you're different.
Yeah. The first one was the like Tibetan, more Eastern dragon, very much how we depict an Asian dragon in the look. They have they got like a beard going on. They're always have red hair, but they are part of the first generation of dragons. They are some of the first dragons to ever be created in a sense. They have some of the most knowledge. They have that lineage. The second one was one I don't really channel too often. It is more of closer to I would say the lizard kind. They are more closer to our size, and that they are similar size to like some if we were in the Avatar movie, and how they are more kind of a little taller than us. They are very much look closer to a lizard or a snake than anything, but they are more one with that side. The second one was from what I've been told is the first generation entirely. A very ancient, they're more raspy in the very much raspy deep,
Yeah.
because they're the first like they're kind of older, wiser in that aspect. And the last one was a crystal dragon. It had a lot of the crackling. If you play that back, the very much a crackling. They're very good at a displaying of energy. A lot of them are connected in with each crystal, and they're meant to help with what the crystal is. A lot of them do that as well. But these are all forms of dragons that are from different parts as well.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Lovely to meet all of you here, you
Sandisul.
beautiful dragons.
Eric made me laugh because when you said lovely to meet you, I've done practices in the course that I'm a part of, and I remember one of the people I was practicing with that joined the course, she said, I tried to connect in with your energy, and all I saw was a row of dragons that felt like they were just blocking me. I was like, you can just ask to be let through. It's like, I'll give you the password or whatever. But I've learned, because before I'm very protective of my energy, as I feel we all should be in some sense.
Yes.
But dragons are very protective of me as well, I've found out. So I've become more allowing of this to be projected, and like now, and for them to actually show themselves, because they see how much they can help and connect in with others, and they're here to showcase their messages and be of service to help all of us. They're here to enlighten everyone. They're showing how We can be far and wide, but we are one. And that is for all of us as well. We are one energy. We all connect in with source. Source is what gives us life. And we are here to help enlighten everyone. And that's what we are doing.
And is that kind of the message that they were sharing?
Yeah. Pretty much. They had a lot of, each one was kind of, a lot of times it is similar to, Eric is showing me this. There's I think Star Wars, The Last Skywalker or whatever. Rise of Skywalker. Rey, she's a Jedi. She hears all of the different Jedis before her. And it is similar to that, where a lot of times these four are more of a representation of the council itself, but they have their messages from all, and they connect in through that message. They have an over-encompassing message for everyone. That is the rebirth. This is for enlightenment, but there is hidden little things in each one that they more focus on in those aspects of bringing forth renewal of energy, bringing more of the positive, the projection of energy. Like the crystal dragons are very good at. There's always in movies. There's always a representation of a crystal shedding beams of light or energy out, and they are very much like that as well. They don't always have the fire breathing aspects of them.
Yeah.
Because they have more energy than anything that they possess.
No, that makes sense, and I can feel it very much. Feel it very much, like very much. It's like it's an intense illumination.
Yeah.
So it's an intense illumination.
Intense.
I love that. Ooh, okay. Thank you so much, Dragon Council, Fire Nation. That was an interesting word that came through for your message. And I think I'm going to leave with something coming through me because something wants to. So that's just what it is. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a little drink of water and let's see what comes through, because this feels new to me, and it does feel like it's a new me. Okay. Yeah. It does feel, and it is the crystal feel. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm nervous because there is a language involved in it, but it's like my mouth isn't used to the tongue.
Very, very, very normal. I have a lot of times when I activate others, I slowly try to incorporate their light language, their soul language. And the biggest part is getting more of the pronunciation of the language down, and then you get into allowing it to fully come through all the way. But once you get activated, it becomes a lot easier. But I had a lot of moments of where I calibrate, where I feel like my tongue's getting twisted half the time.
Yeah. It's like I know it's like, how do I work this kind of a thing? So that's really interesting. Yeah. So in time, I feel like it will come through, and I feel it's beautiful. It's a beautiful language. I feel it. I feel it. It's so beautiful.
Definitely.
So I'm like, I want to hear myself, in this language, but let's see if I can translate what's happening here for everyone and all. All right. Yes, Gwen. Be at peace, know that you are well and good here in a new transition of experience. You see into yourself now in a new way, with golden wings upon your head, and you as a vision of yourself, a clear, clean, we would say orb that represents your face. But we say this in a way for you to understand that who you now in your vision, you are of the heavens, and you see what many do not see. And so we say to you, do not be afraid of if those do not if there are those who do not understand, you will find the language that works for you, and it will be transmuted in a way that is beyond their mind, but is their mind. For people say that their mind is within the brain of the human body, but it is much larger than that. It is more than that. We are more than what we seem to be. And so simply, we are igniting new ways of connection for the human to expand into. This is a way we can say this. And you are entering into a new world. It is fantastical. And you see in a new lens, in a new way. And we invite you to sit here and be here with this new lens, this new view from these clouds, and to ask to be taught. To ask to be taught. And as you do so, you will see into yourself. You will see into yourself as a whole new body and a whole new system. Even as you are doing so right now, you're looking down into your body as a whole new system, dynamic and bright. And so we leave this with you, this excitement and love for this new system, which is connected to your body, and you need not fear that you will lose it in any way, for this is you. This is simply a part of you, which now you have uncovered. Yes, you have uncovered yourself, just as the phoenix's feathers and its body is transformed, it burns, and then it rises from it. It is simply removing a cloak. And so many of you here may look at it this way. You are removing a cloak which you decided to wear. And so we are here encouraging you all to expand your awareness in these ways, and to be humble as you do so, asking for the purification needed for this alignment to be true and good. There are many here around all who are listening in love. Every one of you have those personages, those entities that are here in support of you. Reach out and trust and feel into the love, that comfort that is there as you transition into the many new yous. These many new yous are simply new forms of your expression and your ways of finding new ways to express yourself as love. This is an infinite journey, and we celebrate together. We honor those of this fire nation here. There are many beyond what is seen as the dragons that are also included in this fire nation. Gwen knows many of them. Gwen is connected to many of them. And we yell in a celebration and say, aho. And so we just simply recognize you all who are here in connection and love, in the oneness of all that are and all that is. Yes, we are one. And you are experiencing this now in a new way, and you will learn new ways to express it, and it will be healing to many. And we thank you, dear Ceth, for your willingness and for your many lives of dedication, even as you and your would be called this human brain, this human emotion, where you doubt yourself, where you suffer, where you do not understand, where you feel like you cannot control that which you feel you need to. We say to you, we are here also for your adaptation. For you have many skills that now on this earth time just simply are not being used. But you are a great, great man, a great entity, which has served in many ways and in many forms. And so we honor you here and your journey and what you offer to people, and your own purification process, which is like unto what we say the dragonfly. The dragonfly lives in a certain environment below in a cocoon and then comes forward. And what may be considered a hostile environment helps it to flourish and sprout its wings, and it is dynamic. And so this is the blessing we leave upon you, the words that we leave with you to bring this idea and this thought of the dragonfly into you and your thought of your home and your family and all that is surrounding you. You will come to find your agility. You will come to view things in new perspectives. You will breathe and you will become even more dynamic of a soul. And so we all walk forward together, hand in hand. And do we not see that this is a journey of love? Why, yes. If we hold each other's hands and we look across this vast view, we are simply flying in a sea of love and inviting in a most excellent view. We leave this in love and light. And we now end this transmission. Right. So that's a new voice. but it feels very much Gwen.
Yeah.
It feels Gwen. It's interesting. So that was cool.
Definitely.
Well, there we go. Are any last parting words that you want to leave with us, Seth? And also just let us know how we can find you, because that's important.
The dragons are happy to be a part of each and every one of your journey. They are, if you don't feel like you have a dragon guide, you definitely do. They are some of the most prominent, most powerful beings that are here to help shape the universe. And they are here for your highest good. It is more so allowing and connecting in with them, here for the renewal and the rebirth by light. With all love and light, they are here.
Yes.
Sandisu.
Yes. We'll make sure to, I'll make sure to put some links down below in the information for everyone. And just sending you my love and thanks for being here with me and representing.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Well, everyone, if you are curious about what your own light language is and want to take the leap out into the vast cosmos or the heavens, go ahead and check in with Seth and his mother, and you might be in for a beautiful journey.
Definitely.
Sending love and light. Thank you all for being here on Welcome to Channeling. Click the link below to receive your very own free soul play meditation, reboot, or soul song. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Welcome to Channeling. Till the next episode, own your stage and play on. Hot Muffin Media.